Okay, this is going to be a review of everything that we talked about regarding slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is this formula right here, okay? And the y and the x just represent any ordered pair that's going to be on a line that we're going to try to draw. This is the equation of a line. So any ordered pair that is on the line should work if you plug in the x and y. Now the m and b represent two very important pieces. M is slope, and your b is your y-intercept. Okay, so every equation we make, we want it to look like this. And we want the slope to be plugged in, and we want the y-intercept to be plugged in. So for example, let's look at, I don't know, number 5. If I have an equation where the slope is 3 and the y-intercept is 2, all I'm going to do is plug in the slope to multiply by x, and the intercept is going to be replacing 2. That's it. So this equation has a slope of 3 and an intercept of 2, and this would be the equation for that. Let's look at number 6. The slope is -4, and that multiplies to x. The y-intercept is -9, so I can just put -9, or you can put plus -9 too, that's fine. It's just a little confusing when you have more than one sign. That's it. So here's the equation that we want it to look like. Now, in part 2, there's a line given. We have to find the slope and intercept ourselves, and we're going to plug them into this y equals mx plus b. The easiest thing to find is the y-intercept. Where does this graph cross the y-axis? Okay, so it's going to start with, we know it's going to be y equals, we still have to find our slope, but I know that it's crossing at -3, right here. Now, let's see if we can find our slope. So I want to find what is the pattern that gets me from one point to the next when I move left to right. It looks like I have to go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1 means this one has a slope of 2. 2 multiplies the x, the slope always multiplies your x, so this equation is 2x minus 3. Let's look at another one. This one is crossing at 2. So I know at the end, the y-intercept, the b, is going to be plus 2. Now let's see what's happening on this one. Do you notice this graph is going down? It's going down 1, 2, 3, and over 1. 1, 2, 3, and over 1. It went down 3 over 1. So this one has a slope of -3. So this is the equation. Y equals -3x plus 2. Okay, so let's see if we can go in the reverse order. Let's see if we can graph one of these. Let's look at number 2. This time just going in reverse. I know that this is my y-intercept, -1. So I'm going to put my first dot right there. This number right here tells me the slope. Down 2 over 1. Down 2 over 1. Down 2 over 1. I can even backtrack a little bit to get one more point. And there is my line. Let's look at another one. Maybe this one. We're going to start at -3. And this -x means -1x, which means really down 1 over 1. So this one's going to have lots of points that are going to fit. Ones with the fractions are even easier because you already have your rise and run. This one's starting at -2, and it's going up 2 over 3. Up 2 over 3. It looks like I can fit one more in here too. Okay, same thing with a negative fraction. This one's crossing at 4. Oops, that's way up here. And it's going down 1 over 2. Down 1 over 2. Notice this one is decreasing, right? Because this one has a negative slope. Okay, so that's how to write an equation in slope-intercept form, how to find the line in slope-intercept form, how to graph the line that's written in slope-intercept form. The next thing we did was, well, what if I don't give you a slope and an intercept? Rather, I give you a slope and a point. Okay, so here's my slope, and here's a point on the line. And we want to write the equation in this format. Okay, well, what we're going to do is we're going to use what we know to find what we don't know. Well, what do I know? I know an m value, and I also know an x and a y. All of these things, I've got 3 out of the 4 pieces, so I should be able to use those 3 out of 4 pieces to find the one that I don't know. So let's plug in everything we know. The y value is 2. The slope was -3/4. The slope multiplies the x value, which was 8. The only thing I don't know is b. Okay, now we're just going to solve this for b. Now, in your calculator, you can multiply -3/4 times 8. Okay, I'm just going to do it in my head, though, because for me that's faster. So I get -6 plus b. Try that on your calculator. -3/4 times 8, you should get -6. The last thing I want to do is find b. So I have to add the 6 to the other side, and I get 8. Now, the direction said write the equation, so I'm not done. All I've done is now I have found b. Remember, your equation needs to be in this format. I need to replace the m, which I was given, and I need to replace the b, which I just found. So, my equation is going to be this. Okay? Simple as that. In the next section, we're going to do the same exact thing, except by writing the equation. However, I didn't give you a slope. I gave you 2 points. So the first thing we have to do is find the slope of this line. -10 minus 6. 7 minus -1, right? Y minus y over x minus x. Subtract these, you subtract these. I get -16 over 8. That means my slope is -2. So now I have the information that I had from the problem above. I've got a slope, and I've got 2 points that I can choose from. And you just need one, so you just have to pick one out of them. So let's remind ourselves. We want it to look like this. My slope is -2. And maybe I will pick this point because it's a little bit, the numbers are a little bit smaller, a little bit friendlier. The y value is 6. The x value is -1 plus b. Okay, well, let's evaluate this. -2 times -1 is +2. If I subtract 2 away, I get that b is 4. So the last thing I have to do is do exactly what I did here, is write the equation. The slope we got, remember, was -2. And the intercept that we got, the b value, was +4. So the equation is y equals -2x plus 4. And these other examples that we did in class are basically the same thing. Once you find the equation, here you just go and look in your table and see if that point is one of the points that comes up. So you have to do exactly what we just did, and then just one extra thing. Go back and find, did that point make it to that point on the line? For this one, it's the same exact thing as well, except this time it's not asking for the equation, it's just asking for the y-intercept. It's just asking for b. Okay, well, that's no problem. We've got -4 as the y value, and we've got -6, 1 is the x value. So all we have to do on this one is evaluate. -4 and 6 is 2. I'm a little bit out of room, but it looks like our answer is C. The y-intercept is 2. Now, had I asked for the whole equation, we were given the slope already. It was already in the slope spot, and then I would just have to put +2. So the y-intercept, which we were asked about, is 2.